Beautiful. Oh, that's interesting, man. So essentially, it's just like the UFC. How the UFC has those FS1, and they have the Fight
Prelims.
Pass ones, and they have the FS1 fights, just like that. So it's just the prelims.
Let me see that. I have to log into my thing.
Powerful young Jamie's going to sort it out. Eve Edwards, you're a really good analyst. I just want to tell you, I really enjoy your analysis. You're great on the mic. You're really humble for a guy who's fought as much as you fought too. You don't bring yourself into it too much, and if you do, it's like really succinct and important. Like, you do an awesome job.
Thank you, man. I was going to try to not be humble when you said that and say something smart ass, but I couldn't. I was kind of blown away for you by you saying that. So thanks.
You're
man.
really good, man. You have a really good insight too. You know, you were a very intelligent fighter when you were competing. You were very creative, and you had a very a good high fight IQ. You're very aware of what's going on at any point in time. I think that intelligent style of your fighting makes for a really good analyst, because you're not, you weren't a guy who tried to overwhelm anybody with power or aggression, or you were laying traps and setting people up and using really clean technique. And I find, like I said, Vanderlei probably one of my all-time favorite guys to watch, because just he was pure chaos. But I find that people like yourself oftentimes make really good analysts, because like you're a guy who is like looking at fighting, whether it's MMA, stand-up, on the ground, whatever it was, you're looking at it at this very analytical level.
For me, it's like asking questions. That's one of my boxing coaches, Kenny Weldon, used to say that. When I fought Aaron the second time, he watched the fight after the fact, and he was like, so what do you think, Kenny? He goes, that kid has a lot of questions. It's like, what do you mean he has a lot of questions? He's like, every time you do something, you're asking him a question. And then, every time he does something, he's asking you a question, and you're answering him with, I'm going to do this. And what are you going to do about what I'm doing? And he's just asking me, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? So he's saying he's asking all the questions, but he has no answers. So he's asking me questions, I'm giving him answers. And I think that's kind of how I watch fights, or how I fought. I would try to do something and see what you're doing because of that.
Yeah.
You kind of play with that and feel it. And that's how I watch other people fight. When I watch guys fight, I'm like, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? Is he trying to set something up? Is this guy going to react? How's that guy going to react to that? What's he going to do about him? What's he going to do about his strengths? He knows he's coming in with these strengths. So how is he going to try to take those things away? Or is he just going to try and impose his own strengths? For me, that's what fighting is. It's making yourself as comfortable as you can be at all times, while making the other guy as uncomfortable as he can be. For me, that's what I try to look at, and I try to see if guys play like that. How are they going to play that game?
Yeah, that completely makes sense that you had that kind of style with that approach. I just always admired the way you would set things up. You always had a real technical style fight, which, like I said, I admire chaos too. I admire those Melvin Manhoof dudes too. I admire Vanderlei, like maybe more than anybody, just because he was so wild to watch. But I find that for analysis, like Dominick Cruz is another guy I think knocks it out of the park, because he's so smart in his assessment of risk and reward, and putting yourself in a position where your opponent doesn't exactly know what you're going to do, but you know how he's going to react, because you have this awkward style that you've seen other people react to for a long time. But for them, it's like this new thing. They're standing in front of this guy who's switching stances and bouncing and moving up and down and back and forth, and you're not exactly sure what the fuck he's doing. But he knows what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Because he's so used to doing it to regular people. Like everybody who stands like certain guys, they have that like Muay Thai style, and God, there's so much that they're giving a guy in that situation. And when you got a guy like Dominick Cruz, like he's not predictable at all. He's like flipping stances and moving around and throwing punches from these weird fucking angles where you would swear he's doing it wrong, right?
Yeah, for me, I always look at the way someone explains something to me as the easiest way to explain it. And Ben Askren, Tyron said, Ben likes to cause scrambles, right? That's what Dom does.
Yeah.
He's causing scrambles on the feet because he's not in a traditional position. He's not coming at you like everybody else does. So what he's doing is initiating a scramble right away. When you get a guy on top of you like RDA and he's good at establishing position, if you can create a scramble, then you have a better chance of getting out than if you just try to use basic technique. And Dominick is comfortable in those scrambles. He's been in them so many times. When you react, you have like 3 or 4 reactions, but he has like 22.
Wow. Damn. You know who did a great breakdown? Kirik from the Underground, Kirik Genesis.
Yeah.
He see if you can find that. He put it up today. He put up an article breaking down all the variables of Dominick Cruz's footwork. Really interesting stuff. Because you don't, until you see it as a list,
Yeah.
like all the different things he does. And Kirik did an awesome job of just sort of breaking down all the different things in his fights. And it just makes you realize, like, wow, that guy's got a lot of options, man. Like someone was, I think it was Ludwig, was saying that he doesn't think he has good technique. I'm like, how can you say that, though? Because he lands so many punches. Like, how can you say it? Like, it might not look like everybody else's, but god damn, it's working. I mean, it works. It's crazy how effective it is. See, this is all the stuff that Kirik wrote down. All the different stuff that Dominick does. Pretty interesting, right?
Yep.
Neo footwork is what people are calling it, right? It's like T.J. Dillashaw style. He's got a very interesting style, too. And I hit pads with Dwayne recently. Dwayne showed me some stuff. And one of the things he's doing is all these switch stances. He's doing like these, you're switching and throwing punches as you're switching. He's got a lot of this switch stance stuff that he's like really incorporating into these combinations, and you see it a lot from TJ. I mean, TJ is as comfortable from a southpaw as he is from an orthodox, and he's doing a lot of these switch moves, like they're hitting pads with these, and they're very confusing, you know?
So remember when I said I don't like that style, that Genki Sudo style?
Mm-hmm.
But Dominick's style, that style, I think, is the style to beat that. The reason I say that is because the way Dominick is approaching it, he's approaching it from a educated, I would say more educated, more studious place. These guys are approaching it from trying to get you to buy the wolf ticket. You know, so they're giving you these weird looks because that's going to make you get off balance, stand there for them, be the guy that's just a target. But Dom is giving you these looks from a fighting perspective. He's always in position to fight. Those guys, when you're breakdancing, sometimes you're not in position to react. Dom is always in position to react, and that's why I think that style is the style that beats the other style 10 out of 10 times.
What's really interesting is I don't recall anybody before Dominick Cruz doing it like that. I really don't.
It's a lot of what, I mean, it's limited, but Muhammad Ali did a lot of things like that with his boxing. You know, the rope-a-dope and his footwork. That's a part of it. That's a part of what Dom does. But Dom does it for MMA, so he has to be aware of the kicks, tie-ups, and clinches. I mean, how many times do you see guys press Dom on the fence?
Yeah.
Almost never.
Never. Very rarely. You know, the real super fight is him and Mighty Mouse. That's the real super fight.
Yeah, but, I mean, we saw it.
You did see it, but we saw it. I think Mighty Mouse is far better.
Yeah.
I really do.
But he's so much smaller.
So much smaller. That's a fact. It is a fact. I mean, he's got to be comfortable fighting 135 when he was always so much smaller than those 135-pound guys. But from the, I think it was the Ian McCall fight on, when Ian McCall took his back and battered him, he's talked about it like that was like the big shifting point where he just realized like that he's really got to be dedicated. He can't fuck this up anymore. He can't have a full-time job. He can't be taking beatings like that. And that it was more of the fact that he wasn't putting the time in versus him not having the ability. So he knew he could fight better than that. And so then you see him from that fight on slowly emerge as, I mean, at this point, pretty much the consensus pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, especially now that John doesn't have a license. John was the other guy that was in the mix for that. But I think Mighty Mouse takes less damage. is destroying more guys more in more of a crazy technical impressive fashion. Like when he stopped Cejudo, I mean, that was a work of art, man. The clinch work and those knees to the body, that was as good as I've ever seen anybody beat anybody. You know? I mean, that was just stunning.
Yeah, that's the highest level of mixed martial arts.
His defense too. Like when he went to the ground, when Cejudo took him to the ground, he's got butterflies in. He's moving. He gets back up to his feet. I mean, some high level shit, man. And he had hurt Cejudo to the body, which is why Cejudo took him down. Super high level.
So the reason I think a guy like that gets that good, especially so quick, is because he doesn't have a favorite part. He doesn't he loves the whole thing. You know those guys that they're good strikers and they love striking, so that's what they want to do all the time. Like, no, he works on everything, because for his offense to be as good and his defense to be just as good, a lot of guys just want to be offensive. Guys just want to win in the gym. Guys want to get on top and they want to stay there and they want to control. So when those guys get put on their back, they don't really know what to do, or they have a much harder time escaping or transitioning out of that position. But not a guy like that.